f of x is a machine that takes whatever you put in, squares it, doubles it, and then adds 1. G of x is a machine that whatever you put in, you double it and add 7. And what question 4 is looking at is what machine would do both of these? So again, if we think about the machines that we had before, you have one machine first. In this case, does it make sense that G would be first? Because that's inside. Whatever would come out would go on the conveyor belt, and then it would go into the F machine, and you would get the result. So for example, if I don't want to do hard mental math, I'll plug in 0. 0 is nice. Oh, what do I get? I get 7. And then if I plug in 7, I'd have 7 squared, which is 49, times 2, 98, plus 1, 99. Very exciting. That's what would happen. But now we are trying to figure out what would be the machine that would do both of them. That would first do the 2x squared plus 1, and then do the 2x plus 7. And the way that we think about that is we just throw in an x. Well, if the G machine says whatever you put in, we do 2x plus 7, does it make sense that out would come a 2x plus 7? If you threw in an x, out would come a 2x plus 7. Now that 2x plus 7 goes into F. And the rule for F says whatever you plug in gets squared. So the 2x plus 7 gets squared, it gets doubled, and then you have to add 1. And we'd have to do a little bit of math to figure that out. Now, you're not going to draw the machines. I mean, here I can figure that out. But what is going to happen is you're going to start like this. You're going to say for A, if I have f of g of x, I know that g of x is 2x plus 7. So there would be step 1. We do the inside first. But if you plug x into g, out would come 2x plus 7. And now what does f do? Whatever you put into f, it gets squared. So now 2x plus 7 has to get squared. Then order of operations, then it gets doubled. And finally, you add 1 to it. And from here, I would probably multiply it all out and see what I get. So if I multiply this all out, I'd have to square first, which will give me 4x squared plus 28x plus 49. And then I would double it to give me 8x squared plus 56x plus 98 plus 1 will be plus 99. That is my new equation. This would be the explicit equation of f of g of x. I plugged in x first, and then I got, this would be the machine that does both of those machines together. For these kind of questions, it's a parabola without a calculator. Since you know it's a parabola, can you tell me that its domain is everything? What would you have to do to find the range? It's a parabola that opens up. You see, you have to find the vertex. So often, does it look like it's easy to find the vertex of this one? Not really. We'd have to do a fair bit of work. So in this unit, often they would allow, like in the textbook, they were expecting you to have a graphing calculator. And with a graphing calculator, it would be easy to find the range, because you would go to your graphing calculator, go to y equals, you type in 8x squared plus 56x plus 99. You would graph that parabola, and then you'd be like, ooh, I can find my vertex easily by going second, calculate. I want to find the minimum. Where's my cursor? Come on, cursor. There it is. Go to the left side of it, push enter. Go to the right side of it, push enter. And my minimum y value is 1. So my range, y is greater than or equal to 1 or 1 to infinity. Okay. Are you allowed a graphing calculator on your exam? No. So are they going to ask you that range question on the exam? Probably not. They ask you a range question, it would be something that you could quickly graph using transformations. This one is a little bit not quick, because you'd have to complete the square using grade 11. That takes a little bit too much time. Probably not going to get passed. B. Okay, G of f of x. So this means first we're plugging x into f of x. And the f of x rule says whatever you plug in gets squared, then multiplied by 2 plus 1. I mean, really all you're doing is replacing f of x with its equation. Now, 2x squared plus 1 is going into g. What does the g function do? The rule for the g machine says whatever you put in gets doubled, and then you add 7. So I'm putting in this whole thing, 2x squared plus 1, has to get doubled, and then I have to add 1. 7. That's a 7, don't worry. Whew. Good recovery. This is going to be 4x squared plus 8. This could be one that you could be asked the domain and range on a non-calculator exam. Because the domain, obviously, is parabolas, everything. The range, can you see this is a transformation? So I could take a parabola. I could stretch it by 4, and then shift it up 8 units. So my y values are going to be greater than or equal to 8. So that would be one you could do without a calculator, could happen on the exam. That first one, using a graphing calculator, or it was a little bit too complicated for the range. And then part C asks for g of x. So first we put g in the g machine, and the g machine says whatever you put in is that one. I'll read it again. That's the 2x plus 7. So whatever goes into g gets doubled and you add 7. Then you put this back into g. So again, functions are that way. Whatever you put in, this is going to get doubled. So the 2x plus 7 is going to get doubled, and then you're going to add 7 again. Which would give us 4x plus 14 plus 7 plus 21. Could you do domain and range of this one without a calculator? Yes, it's a straight line, so its domain is everything, and its range is everything. Okay, questions for practice on this one, 10 and 11. So understanding the notation for composition of functions is really important. Oh. And yeah, I have to highlight something because I was like, oh, I forgot to show you there. You know how there was a not nice notation for the other ones? There's also a not nice notation for composition of functions. So I'm going to show that to you. Is it on this page? No. Is it on this page? No. Oh, I'm still recording. There it is. So, the nice notation looks like this. G of f of x. Which means do f of x first, then g. Ooh. I'm going to write f of g of x, just because it's more fun for me. Okay? Here is the not nice notation. They write the f, they write the g, and then they write a degree symbol, but not sort of in the middle of the equation. And to me it spells fog, which is unclear and not nice. So that's how I remember this. So anytime you get the foggy notation, change it to g of x first and then f. Right? Because if you had this question, and they said fog of -2, You'd be like, what? If you've never seen that before, do you think you'd have any hope on the exam of getting that? Probably not. But then change it to be, this is just f of g of -2. What's g of -2? It is, g of -2 is way up here at 8. So this becomes f of 8. Is f of 8 on my graph? Wow, I picked numbers that, oh no, they picked the numbers. I thought I was so impressed with myself that I picked numbers that were nice, but I used theirs. So you would get 3. So this is the foggy notation. If you ask me why, I will say, I don't know. Why do they have the not nice notations? Where did that come from? I'm not sure. Okay.